felt really obligated to say something about Brandon, since I can't be there, and since I've always been so highly involved in the shows. I'm really sad that I can't be there actually, and so grateful that it's going on right now. Anyways, um, just I'll try to keep it brief and see if I can control the emotions here. Like where to start though? I don't know. 10 years, right? Like I can't believe it's been 10 years. It's time is weird. It's gone by fast. Certainly, like in the beginning, I don't think it did though. Especially for me, right? Like that's just my experience. I also had a pretty bad loss like 2 months right before Brandon as well. And then the middle got married, and that was the last I saw him at my wedding. But he was very sweet about the person that I lost, one of my dads. People rarely know what to say when someone is lost. Like even like someone who does it for a living, right? Like it's not easy, but he said something. He just shared like a memory, and it helped. And I thought of that often, and certainly like so much can and has changed in 10 years. And certainly like for me, he's been a huge part of my sobriety, my inspiration, just to live better. And just knowing like he wouldn't have wanted me to feel how I was feeling, and it really kept me going, especially early on. And then I think of where he might have like fit into my life now is where I kind of get sad still with him. Um, and it's just missing him still all the time. Thinking of like he might have been a really, you know, warm presence for me on the West Coast here. Likely he might have still been out here. Um, and just thinking of like, his smile and how he's always happy to see you, right? And like he always made me laugh, right? And like who couldn't have used more of that in the last few years, especially, right? So I miss him dearly still. And much like, you know, uh, all of you, right? Like if you're close to him, I guess I shouldn't say that, but like chances are you've probably asked yourself like what could I have done to help him or to like make things go differently for him. Um, and I still get caught up in that sometimes. What could I have done? I wish I called him a little bit more when he moved from Illinois to Cali. That's where my like regrets and guilt lies, right? But I know you probably all have your own versions of that, right? And I'm not trying to trample on that. It's a natural part of what happens when you lose someone that you just love so much, right? Is you always try and think of what you could have done. But certainly, like, especially those closest, like Tom, Dan, and Lori, right? Like, no matter what, like, it might not have changed anything. And I'm trying to say that just from a place of love, right? And certainly, I don't think that he would want any of us to spend excessive amount of time in that type of place, right? He would want us to be happy. Um, and like it's taken a long time, like 10 years, like over 9 at least for me to get to a place where when I think of him, I feel mostly happy. It's still, I feel his loss and sadness. All right, like I always will. You probably always will. Um, but I feel happy when I think about him a lot now, and it took a long time to get there. Through like music I used to share with him so closely, and like I tried to make a playlist of like 10 songs. It's been 10 years, and I just laughed after I got to like 4 songs and gave up because I was like, it could be like hundreds of songs in the thousands of songs that like describe my relationship with him, and like songs I never shared with him too that like I know now like it would be nice to like share with him. And like I was very similar to him in a lot of ways, I think. Certainly musically, um, and that's what all these shows were about, right? And so I just felt really compelled to like say something about him, man. I miss him dearly. I miss all of you too. And it's just good to stay connected with him. And I think that's really it. And I miss you guys. Hope the show's going well.